Hey guys, Blade Arts here, and I said when the live server went live with 8.6, I said I would do a little review of the Excelsior here. And so far, I'm very happy with this tank. I'll just list some pros and some cons. Pros, it's fast for a Brit Heavy. Max speed, you could probably get around 40 kilometers an hour. And compared to the other Brit Heavies like the Churchill and the other tanks like that, where you're only getting usually 20 kilometers an hour, that's really, really great. It's got good frontal armor, about 110. It's a frontal turret, so it's not like the Churchill. You're not going to have a 90 millimeter. I'm not too sure what the front armor on the Churchill is, but it's not too impressive, the turret armor, and that's where people usually pen you. So it's got good frontal armor, both the turret and the frontal tank. It's fast. It gets good matchmaking. I think, yeah, the top it sees is tier 6, so you never see tier 7 in this tank. It's cheap. 1,500 credits, 1,500 gold, very, very cheap. It's about the same price as a T14. This is a better British T14, and it's really useful for training your Brit Heavy crews if you're going down that line. Makes decent money, fairly good money. Most games I walk away with premium account, of course. 30,000 credits, 40,000 credits. I'd say that's fairly good. And you don't have to fire gold too often, though. There's certain tanks that if you meet on the field, you're just going to have to fire gold. Possibly the KV-1. I'm not too sure how well you can pen the KV-1's weak spots. You get 91 average pen. I suppose if you get some good aiming, good shots, you can pen the KV-1. Usually you would want to fire gold against enemy heavies and AT2s, things like that. Now the cons. Cons on this tank, penetration is only 91 average. So you're going to have a lot of trouble penning enemy heavy tanks. You shouldn't have too much trouble with mediums and tank destroyers. I had a little bit of trouble penning a Hetzer, but once you get that lower plate, sometimes you get low rolls and you'll have difficulty penning certain tanks. But if you run into any trouble, fling some gold. It's not going to cost you that much if you're running premium. And usually you'll walk away with a profit. Unless you're firing pure gold, you'll walk away with a profit on this tank. So yeah, weak pen. The gun's okay, it does decent damage. It's just that the pen is dragging it down overall. Another con is the side armor. Side armor is fairly weak, so you don't want to be exposing that to the enemy at all. And I can't really think of any other cons with this tank. It's accurate, does decent damage. It's just that penetration in the side armor can be a problem sometimes. Yeah, it's a good tank to get into platoons with other tanks that have special MM and don't see tier 7. So if you can get 3 tanks that 3 Excelsiors. I don't own a T14 myself or a Churchill 3, so I don't know which other tanks get special preferential MM that doesn't see tier 7, so I can't really comment on that. But from what I've been hearing, this tank is just a better T14 in the British line. Of course, the T14 is American, training American heavy crews. Yeah, second game, I get Ace Mastery on this tank. Tell you the truth, I'm in love with this tank, and it's a keeper. Even if you're not even thinking of going down the British heavy line, I would suggest picking up this tank just for have fun with friends if they've got a similar tank. It's a great tank to platoon. I wouldn't platoon with regular tier 5s just because I don't think this tank would perform very well in tier 7. So you'd want to, yeah, for the most part, you want to platoon with people with preferential MM. Like say other Excelsiors or whatever other tanks get that. Because I wouldn't be bringing this tank to tier 7 battles. It's just going to end horribly. Yeah, so far I'm happy with my purchase. I'm going to use it to train up a British heavy crew. When I do eventually end up purchasing my Carnarvon again, maybe switch them over to that. Because that's definitely one of the goals I have, is to get a Conqueror. Conqueror heavy tank, the tier 9. It's going to be a while off, but one of these days I'm sure I'll get it. Yeah, if you're on the edge, if you're on the fence about this tank, and you're thinking whether to get it. It's worth the gold, for sure. Of course, I don't have any of my mods installed because this is a fresh 8.6 download. I haven't really taken the time to get XVM all installed. XVM, the one that shows how much damage you do at the end of the match. I think at the end of the match I do around 2,500 damage. My buddy here ends up getting a Bradley Walters. So good on him. Most of the times when I come up against an AT2 in this Excelsior, I try to track him and then I just flank them from the side. Get right behind them. You're fast enough in this heavy tank to flank. So, it's good to do that. And I mentioned in a previous video, if you're up against another Excelsior and he's not flinging gold, just track him. If he's alone, track him, get to his side, and then turn your tank. He'll be pretty helpless. And not much else to see, just one final tier 3 hiding at base. Suppose I can just speed this up. Oh yeah, I might have gotten an experience bonus from Confederate. Not too sure if there's an event going on. I have to check later. Shoot him once, let my buddy get Bradley's there. 8 kills. 1 kill short of crucial contribution, but there's only 2 of us. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. On the server I'm playing on C, Asia. Oh, I guess, yeah, it's the Asia server now. It's 1,200 experience to ace this, 1,200 base experience without premium. I think he only got like 1150, so he was close to acing it, but he didn't get it in the end. So that's ace mastery on my second game on this thing. Really happy with this tank. Good purchase.